You can pick any movie, and I guarantee you, out of, the top 10 movies or so, there will be probably 7 to 8 of them that contain all these sorts of gun violence and everything.
Yeah.
And they're made by these elitist leftists. But yet, we can't have guns. Oh, we can't. We can't do that. You have a firearm that fires more than 80 rounds per minute? You can't have that. And yet, we go and we watch, and we have these movies playing in theaters of these very same people who say these things, playing a, hero of some sort, a protagonist of some sort, who uses what? Guns as a tool to get to their goal. Hello everyone, my name is JD.
And this is Logan.
And this is the WireTap, brought to you by the Conservative Wire. And Logan is going to kind of take the reins today, because he's been diligently researching, and he's been more on this topic than I have, of this movie that in the last week or so has garnered a lot of attention.
It has.
It's been on basically any mainstream news source. It's in some way or at some point or another talking about it. Whole segments on Fox have been donated to it. You've had your mainstream media sources on Twitter and social media who have posted about it, or, conservatives who have written articles about it. I've not done a whole heck of a lot of reading about it because there's just other stuff that I was more interested in at the time. You've been a lot more into this, so
I decided
I kind of thought that I would let you take the reins on this one today.
I decided to look into it for the cultural rift that it seems it's been causing. And with this, it's one of two sides that you're on. You're either for the movie, you're against it. And it's interesting to look at conservatives particularly, because even conservatives are split about it.
Yeah.
You have Donald Trump and largely Fox News being the main push behind that the movie shouldn't come out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because it has the premise. In the movie, it specifically says that they're hunting deplorables.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, it is basically leftist elitists that kidnap and drug people. And it says that these people have made comments online. Yeah. So they've had right-leaning comments online. Maybe there are even people possibly on TV or commentators that are kidnapped and then they're basically killed in the middle of the wilderness by these leftists.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump and Fox News came out strong against that film and wanting to shut it down and saying that this isn't right for the climate. And then there's others who are saying that the movie should just go on as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I fall along the lines of, I guess that the film should come out.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me that much. This isn't the hill that I'm willing to die on.
Yeah.
So.
And just by default, that's kind of where I would land too. And the one thing about this story that I just find funny is, and we discussed this in the last episode, or we made mention of it, how you have the Democratic presidential candidates and the media and everything that point and wag the finger at Trump at how he's turned up the political heat and the climate is just so heated and dangerous today, and how the rhetoric is just so fired up that, it's created this hostile climate. And then you have this, which many liberals are, upset that this movie has been pulled. Or at least they were in support of this film.
I would think that it would be liberals that would be up in arms over it. The gun violence and specifically putting targets on people for their beliefs.
That too. But for all their talk also about guns and gun violence, and you have a movie like this. Now, I mean, like you said, my default position is just kind of, I mean, I guess.
Now,
I mean, I mean, is it a movie that I would probably go see? No. I mean,
I think I could reviews, maybe.
I probably wouldn't go see it, but I mean, I guess I don't really think that it necessarily would fall under the, like, calling for threats against like groups of people or anything like that.
If I heard about this film anytime, whether it had just happened, because a lot of this I think is in the wake of the shootings that have just happened, whether this movie had come out when there was the shooting or if there wasn't, I wouldn't have really been that upset about it myself.
No. And was this was a Blumhouse film, right? Yeah, it was Blumhouse Productions. When did it start production, or do you know?
I don't know when it started production, but it's set to come out. It was set to come out at the end of December.
At the end of the year.
Not December, September.
Oh, September.
September 27th.
Oh, so wow, that's
only
a month. So
they were just starting advertising when this hit. Yeah.
Wow, because I mean, you know, if that movie's coming out in September, that movie's basically done.
Yeah.
That movie is all but done, except minor editing changes that would have to happen.
And they said that they're not getting rid of it. In this article that I'm reading from the National Review, a statement from Comcast said, "We stand by our filmmakers. We understand that now is not the right time to release this film."
So they will release it at some point.
They will release it at some point.
Because, I mean, if this were a movie that were just in the works or had just begun filming and it was maybe mid-shooting stage, no pun intended, but like mid-shooting stage, I could see it being pulled and them just scrapping the whole project. But yeah, if it was set to come out in September, that movie's already done. You know that Universal is not going to just allow all of that money to be lost.
Yeah.
For that. Because I imagine, everybody's been paid. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they would have to be paid, and Universal ain't going to just freely give up all of that money.
I mean, this just started the advertising campaign when all of this hit. So, my question to you would be, do you think that Donald Trump was right in essentially being one of the main drivers to likely push this film off?
I mean, and that's the other thing. Like I said, like, if it were me, I don't really think that it necessarily, and I might be wrong, I don't know, but I don't know that it necessarily crosses the line of any sort of threat or anything like that. It's certainly a provocative premise, but your free speech your provocative speech is supposed to be covered under the umbrella of free speech. So I would say that there's really no constitutional reason why this movie should not be made.
Well, the only thing that I've been hearing a lot,
and I mean, you haven't had any legal action. Let's put that caveat. It's not been any legal action or anything like that. It's just public backlash, and Universal decided to shelve it for the time being.
And I mean, something that I found interesting is that a lot of people have been saying that it's too soon to release this film. In the wake of the shootings, I just don't know about that. I mean, can you now just not release any film that has a gun in it?
Yeah.
When's the set date that those films can start coming out again?
Yeah, and I mean, that's all that their movies are in Hollywood. Yeah. And I mean, it's not this Einsteinian discovery that we're making here. I mean, you can go to the box office, you can look at any movie, or like any given week of the year, you can go look at what's playing at the movie theater, not just your local movie theater. You can look at the box office, or anything like that for the nation. You can pick any movie, and I guarantee you, out of the top 10 movies or so, there will be probably 7 to 8 of them that contain all these sorts of gun violence and everything.
Yeah.
And they're made by these elitist leftists. But yet, we can't have guns. Oh, we can't. We can't do that. You have a firearm that fires more than 80 rounds per minute? You can't have that. And yet, we go and we watch, and we have these movies playing in theaters of these very same people who say these things, playing a, hero of some sort, a protagonist of some sort, who uses what? Guns as a tool to get to their goal,
Yeah. So, I'm wondering what's going to happen, because I'm sure that they're going to try another re-release.
Right? At
some point, whether that's winter or maybe even next spring.
Yeah.
I'm sure this film's finished. It's sitting on a shelf, ready to go.
Yeah, it's just sitting on a shelf.
So, I'm wondering what it'll be then. Will it still be too soon?
Yeah. I'd be interested to know when, because that even though that they say, that they don't have any plans at this time for releasing it, or that, it's not the right time right now, that they have some time whenever they are going to release this movie. But the interesting thing is that this movie does kind of have a bit of a shelf life, though.
Yeah.
Because let's play devil's advocate and say that Donald Trump loses in the next election. I mean, is then the right time?
Yeah.
Is then the right time, because then you would have the right. You would have this movie after the right suffers this loss for the presidency. Would then be the right time, or would then, still be, too soon? Is it too soon?
Well, and it has things in the movie. It has quotes from the movie in some of the articles I've read, so where they specifically list the racist in chief.
Mm-hmm.
They specifically take shots at the current president that would be in the film.
Yeah.
Which is assumed to be Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So I found it interesting in a way that Donald Trump and the Republicans kind of shot themselves in the foot, because the people that are deplorables, they're the people that you sympathize for in the film.
Yeah.
The Republican characters are the ones that you sympathize.
Yeah. Yeah, or they are what are going to be the protagonists in the movie. And your liberal elites would be the antagonists, and would take the place and be the stand-in for any of the monsters or anything like that would typically be in a horror film. Because Blumhouse produces a lot of horror films. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. I think they did Ma. That came out a month or so ago, and I'm really racking my brain for any others, and they're just not coming to me at the moment. But liberals would take the place of that scary monster that's in a horror film, and the Republicans or the deplorables would be the ones that you want to see make it. Yeah. You want to see live.
Yeah,
and
it is a thriller.
Is that? Yeah, I mean that's what it would be listed as, like a thriller. Maybe not necessarily a horror, but suspense.
They've made
suspense thriller,
Paranormal Activity.
Oh yeah.
Get Out, Happy Death Day, The Purge.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if anybody who was on The Purge was working with this or not. I'm not totally sure.
It was,
like I said, I don't know a whole lot about the movie itself.
I think it was the same director, which is kind of where I almost think. I mean, that's kind of what this guy makes.
Yeah,
he makes these political thrillers, or these
because
desolate worlds.
Yeah, these kind of like dystopian kind of thriller movies, because the last, or at least I remember one of the purges that they made, I think it was in 2016, and it was Election Day.
Yeah.
Is what it was called. It was called Purge Election Day. And there was a lot of political imagery in that movie, if I remember right.
And in all of the Purges, there's always been the political imagery in the Purge movies of these basically fat cat capitalist Republicans is kind of what they're made out to be, and they kill average people, or Democrats rise up against
their corporation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And overthrow corporations.
So, I mean, like I said, I myself didn't have a whole lot of knowledge about this other than just a general peripheral knowledge from what I had seen, maybe a little bit on cable news or just on social media. Any of the details I didn't really know a whole lot about. But, like I said, is this a movie that I probably would have went and seen? No. And I'm sure a lot of other people wouldn't either, but I don't think that it's a movie that shouldn't have been released. But Universal made the call. They made the call to pull the plug. And this movie is going to toe the line in such a way to where it's not just liberals slaughtering Republicans or something like that. That's not what it was going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, there was going to be a bit of a story to it. And it would be different if it were just a Rambo-style movie of liberals gunning down Republicans and promoting violence against them.
And that's the end.
And that is the movie in and of itself. That's totally different than what this was going to be. And I don't think that this was... I don't think that this was a hill that conservatives should die on.
And it's a split field.
Yeah, and I mean, people are split on this one. And the split probably comes, and I'll just make the generalization here, probably comes between those who are truly conservative and actually recognize that, this movie, should have the right to be made. It is protected and everything. And between those conservatives who are...
I call them Fox News conservatives.
Exactly, the Fox News type conservatives, to where they are conservative so long as it falls in line with the principles and everything and the direction of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Because those are two very different things. You have the conservatives who are actually conservative, and then you have those who just think that anything that the Republican Party or Trump does is, in fact, conservative, and that's not always the case.
Kind of seeing that with the new gun control legislation.
Yeah, with the red flag laws, which...
That's a video for another day.
Yeah, I mean, that's a video for another day, but for today, we want to thank you guys for watching us and for listening to us on SoundCloud if you're doing that there. And we encourage you, to go to SoundCloud and listen to our audio versions of this production over there. Make sure you leave comments and you follow, you like. And here on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more of our content. Make sure you leave a comment down below with any video ideas that you might want to see in the future. You can also follow us on Twitter at the CWire on Twitter. Capital TCNW is at the CWire. And for Logan, I am JD, and we want to thank you guys once again for watching. So we will see you guys in the next video. Thank you, and God bless.